Welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into a topic that's very dear to my heart: wisdom. Now, when we think of wise people, we might picture philosophers or historical figures. But you know what I've learned? Wisdom isn't reserved for a select few. It's something we can all cultivate within ourselves, and it starts with the daily habits we choose. Today, we're going to explore 6 habits that wise people practice every single day. These aren't complicated formulas or magic tricks. They're simple, practical steps that can make a world of difference in how you see the world, how you make decisions, and how you live your life. So if you're ready to embrace a little more wisdom in your life, get comfortable, grab a cup of tea, because we're about to embark on a journey of self-discovery together. Stick around to learn how you can incorporate these habits into your life. You know, life is the greatest teacher of all, but sometimes the lessons come disguised as mistakes. It's what we do with those mistakes that truly defines us. See, wise people, they understand that mistakes aren't failures, they're opportunities. Opportunities to learn, to grow, to become even wiser. Think about it. When you were a child learning to walk, did you give up after the first stumble? Absolutely not. You dusted yourself off, maybe with a few tears along the way, and you tried again and again and again, until finally you were walking, running, maybe even dancing. That same principle applies throughout our lives. Every mistake, every setback, it's a chance to reflect, to understand what happened, and to figure out how to do things differently next time. Imagine this. You're a chef, right? And you're working on a new recipe. You follow every step perfectly. But when you pull it out of the oven, it's a disaster. Now you could get discouraged, throw in the towel and order takeout, or you could put on your chef's hat, analyze what went wrong. Maybe you added a little too much salt or the oven temperature was off, and use that knowledge to make the dish even better next time. That's what wise people do. They don't let mistakes define them. They learn from them, they grow from them, and they come back stronger than ever. You know, one of the most beautiful things about the human experience is that we each see the world through a unique lens. No two perspectives are exactly alike. And wise people, they cherish this diversity of thought. They understand that their way of seeing things is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. Imagine you're standing in a room full of people, all looking at the same painting. Some might be drawn to the vibrant colors, while others might be captivated by the brushstrokes or the story behind the artwork. Each person brings their own experiences, beliefs, and interpretations to the table. Wise people, they don't just stay in their own little corner of the room. They're curious. They want to know what others see. They ask questions, they listen intently, and they try to understand different viewpoints, even if they don't necessarily agree with them. Because here's the thing, when we open ourselves up to different perspectives, we expand our own understanding, we start to see the nuances, the complexities of life. It's like adding more colors to our palette, more instruments to our orchestra, and you know what? Sometimes those different perspectives, they challenge our own beliefs. They make us question what we thought we knew. And that can be uncomfortable, but it's in that discomfort, in that space of uncertainty, that real growth happens. So, the next time you're faced with a decision, big or small, don't just go with your gut. Reach out, talk to people, seek out different viewpoints. You might be surprised by what you learn. Now, this is a big one. Let's talk about criticism. It's something we all face at some point in our lives. And let's be honest, it's not always easy to swallow. But here's the thing about criticism. It's not always a bad thing. In fact, it can be an incredibly valuable tool for growth if we let it. See, wise people, they understand that criticism isn't a personal attack. It's feedback. It's information. Now, that doesn't mean every piece of criticism we receive is going to be accurate or helpful. Sometimes it's just noise. But instead of immediately getting defensive or shutting down, wise people pause. They take a moment to really listen to what's being said. They ask themselves, is there any truth to this criticism? Is this something I need to work on? And if the answer is yes, they don't shy away from it. They embrace it. They see it as an opportunity to improve, to become better versions of themselves. Think about it this way. Imagine you're a writer and you've just finished your manuscript. You give it to a trusted friend to read, and they come back with a whole list of critiques. They point out plot holes, inconsistencies, maybe even suggest rewriting entire chapters. Now, you could be offended, you could take it personally, or you could recognize that your friend is coming from a place of love, that they want to see you succeed. Their criticism, as harsh as it might seem, is actually a gift. It's a chance to polish your work, to make it the best it can be. That's the power of embracing criticism. It allows us to grow, to evolve, to become more resilient. We live in a world that's obsessed with information. We have access to more knowledge than ever before, right at our fingertips. But here's the thing, knowledge without action is like a car without an engine. It might look impressive sitting in the driveway, but it's not going to get you very far. Wise people, they understand this. They know that true learning goes beyond simply absorbing information. It's about putting that knowledge into practice, about testing it out in the real world. Think about it this way. Imagine you want to learn a new language. You could spend hours studying grammar books and memorizing vocabulary words. But until you actually start speaking the language, having conversations, making mistakes, you're not truly learning. It's the same with any skill or piece of knowledge. Whether it's learning to play an instrument, mastering a new recipe, or developing a new mindset, the key is to take action, to practice, to experiment, to allow ourselves to make mistakes and learn from them. And you know what? When we put what we learn into practice, something incredible happens. We not only solidify that knowledge, but we also build confidence. We start to see ourselves as capable, as competent. We realize that we can achieve anything we set our minds to. So the next time you find yourself saying, I want to learn how to, don't stop there. Take that next step. Sign up for that class. Start that project. Put yourself out there, because it's in the doing, in the action, that true wisdom is found. We've all been there. You're in the middle of a stressful situation, and suddenly, your emotions take over. Anger, frustration, fear, they can cloud our judgment and lead us to make choices we later regret. But here's the thing about emotions. We don't have to be slaves to them. Wise people, they understand the power of emotional regulation. They recognize that while it's important to acknowledge and experience our emotions fully, we don't have to let them control us. Think of it like this. Imagine your emotions as wild horses. They're powerful, they're unpredictable, and if left unchecked, they can easily run away with us. But with practice, with patience, we can learn to tame those wild horses. We can learn to ride them, to guide them, to harness their power without letting them take over. Now, emotional regulation doesn't mean suppressing our emotions or pretending they don't exist. It's about creating space between the feeling and our reaction. It's about taking a moment to pause, to breathe, to observe our emotions without judgment. And in that space, in that moment of stillness, we can choose how we want to respond. We can choose to react with anger, or we can choose to respond with compassion. We can choose to lash out, or we can choose to communicate calmly and respectfully. It's not always easy, it takes practice. But the more we cultivate emotional regulation, the more we become masters of our own inner world, and that, my friends, is true wisdom. One of the most dangerous phrases in any language is, "That's just the way it is," because it closes us off to possibilities. It tells us that we've reached the limit of what we can know, what we can experience, what we can become. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Wise people, they understand that learning is a lifelong journey. It's not something that ends when we graduate from school or get our dream job. It's a continuous process of exploration, of curiosity, of pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zones. Think about it this way, our brains are like muscles. The more we use them, the stronger they become. And just like we wouldn't expect to run a marathon without training our bodies, we can't expect to navigate the complexities of life without continuously training our minds. Now, lifelong learning doesn't mean we have to enroll in a formal education program. It can be as simple as reading a book on a new subject, watching a documentary, having a conversation with someone who has a different perspective, or even just observing the world around us with fresh eyes. The key is to stay curious, to never lose that childlike wonder and thirst for knowledge, because the more we learn, the more we realize how much we don't know. And that's okay. In fact, it's in that space of not knowing, of being open to new possibilities, that true growth and wisdom reside. So keep exploring, keep questioning, keep learning, because the journey of wisdom is a lifelong adventure. Thank you so much for joining me today on this exploration of wisdom. Remember, these 6 habits, they're not just for philosophers or sages, they're for all of us. They're simple, practical steps that we can all incorporate into our daily lives to cultivate more wisdom, to make better decisions, and to live more fulfilling lives. If you found these habits helpful, please share this video with your friends and family. Let's spread a little wisdom around. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content. Keep learning, keep growing, and remember, the journey of wisdom is a beautiful one. Thanks for watching. If you found these habits helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Keep learning and stay wise.